Greetings, Shackers. You might be wondering where Greg Burke, the usual curator of the weekly top 10 list, is. Well...
Mom! Dad!
Greg's
That's right, dead serious about
bringing you the best post-E3 content. So for this week, that leaves you with me, Senior Editor Ozzy Mejia, to take a look at this week's top 10. And speaking of E3, let's take this week to look at one of the biggest games of the show. Yahoo! Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was undeniably one of the best games at this year's show. And if there was a theme established for the next game, it's that everything you've seen in a previous Smash Bros. Is probably here. All the characters are here, and a lot of the series' past stages are returning. But while we wait to learn exactly which stages are coming back, whether it's a handful of them or all of them, Shacknews is taking a look back at the very best stages in the Super Smash Bros. Series. There is one major rule in place for this list. We focused on for fun rather than for glory. We're not looking at the best stages from a competitive standpoint, or from an esports standpoint. We'll look more into those in the future, but for now our criteria for this list boils down to, is this stage awesome? So with that out of the way, let's get started. It feels like ages ago since I first set foot in Saffron City, but I'll never forget this as one of the first stages in the series to really captivate me. Saffron City featured a unique layout with a tower on each side of the stage, along with a rising platform on the far left side. But what made it special was the center area, where different Pokemon would pop out and attack. And because the center is where most of the fighting takes place, it would be fun to see a Porygon pop out and KO someone, or watch everyone scramble to get the heck out of the way when an Electrode popped out ready to self-destruct. Nintendo DS owners probably didn't get too much out of their Pictochat app, but man did it make for a fun stage. Fighting would take place on a straightforward Final Destination style platform in the middle of the stage, but every few seconds a random drawing would appear that would either open up new platforms or create random hazards. Imagine going toe to toe with your opponents until a stylist drew a slow moving rocket or a piranha plant to make things a little bit hairier. There were over 24 drawing possibilities, making every game on Pictochat unpredictable. The Super Mario Maker stage operated on a lot of the same principles as Pictochat, but with a few key differences. The biggest one being that, like the game it was based on, fighters would get transported across the 4 different Mario Maker styles: Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, and New Super Mario Bros. Each of the stages would be randomly generated with their own platform layouts and hazards. Plus, if you broke any of the bricks along the stage, a hand would appear and repair any damage. It's one of the most unique stages in the series, and a fun tour through Mario history. And speaking of Mario history... people either love or hate the auto-scroller levels, but to me, Mushroomy Kingdom stands out as one of the best. This is a tour of the classic World 1-1 from Super Mario Bros., but here it's worn down from the ravages of time. This is what the Mushroom Kingdom would look like if it were set in the world of Mad Max. And if the perfect recreation of the classic stage isn't enough, Super Smash Bros. Brawl featured an Easter egg where if you held down one of the shoulder buttons on the GameCube controller, you get taken into the underground world 1-2 instead. It's nostalgic, it's scenic, and it's a lot of fun. The Battleship Halbert is a wild ride from the start, with players battling it out on a hangar and then getting whisked away aboard Meta Knight's trusted vessel. The battle then shifts to a vast platform with a central hanging platform, perfect for 4-player free-for-alls. But while the action goes on, the ship's combo cannon takes aim and blasts away anyone in its path for an almost assured KO. This frantic scramble caps off a standout stage from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Nobody ever expected to see Cloud Strife in a Super Smash Bros. Game, but not only did he debut as a DLC character in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, but he also brought along a unique stage from the Final Fantasy universe. Midgar is laid out a lot like Battlefield with a main stage and 3 hanging platforms, but like Final Fantasy, random encounters with monsters will pop up throughout the game. Each of the monsters will inflict a different hazard on the stage, like Leviathan flooding it with a tsunami, or Odin slicing the stage in half with a Zantetsuken attack. Final Fantasy summons in the Smash Bros. Game is still something to wrap my head around, and it's one of the coolest sights in any stage. The Metroid franchise is represented well with its Smash Bros. Stages, but none stand out more than Brinstar Depths, which takes place atop a giant floating rock. It lends itself to a lot of close quarter fighting, but if that's not enough, the massive crate is in the background, rotating the stage like a steering wheel. Winning in Brinstar Depths is a matter of not only outplaying your opponents, but making sure you don't fall into the abyss below. The Wario Ware series is known for being manic, fast-paced, twitchy, and a series where blinking is your worst enemy. The full spirit of those games is in place in the Wario Ware stage for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Fighting takes place along a central platform, but every couple of seconds, the scene will shift to a different microgame. And making things all the more hectic is that each of the microgame has specific instructions, like avoiding an arrow storm, chiseling a statue, or just simply not moving. Winning a microgame can lead to a bonus, which leaves the losers at the mercy of the winners. The F-Zero stages like Mute City are pretty fun on their own, but Big Blue adds a special element of chaos. The fighting is done atop Captain Falcon's Falcon Flyer ship, but it's in the middle of an active F-Zero race. Anyone who gets knocked off can land on any of the F-Zero racers below and keep right on fighting. But if you hit the track, there's a good chance momentum is going to carry you right off the stage. That makes it all the crazier when somebody actually does somehow manage to recover and make it back into the fray. This is a wildly fun stage and stands out as one of the series' most creative efforts. We take things full circle with our number one and go back to the world of Pokemon. And while Saffron City was a fun nod to the Pokemon anime, Pokemon Stadium harkened to the series in a different way by taking place atop a central platform that changes environments every 30 seconds. And while each environment offers a different terrain and a different set of dangers, it doesn't go overboard with cheap hazards or random nonsense. Pokemon Stadium is randomness done right, and it also honors one of Nintendo's premier franchises. The series has iterated on Pokemon Stadium over the past couple of games, but the original one is where it's at, offering fun for both casual and competitive players alike. With so many stages in the Smash Bros. Series, everyone's bound to have their own favorites, so let us know yours in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe, and for all things video games, you're in the right place. This is Shacknews.
Ozzy, what the hell are you doing in
Dad's
my
home.
office?
Gotta go.
Get out of my top 10 office. Go on, get out of here. Go right, get out of here. Sorry about that, guys. Well, I guess it's already done, so it. For more videos like this and everything else gaming related, you're already in the right place. You're on Shacknews.com.